answered with a Nautilus for missing.
Yeah, a little bit surprised, just instantly showing they're confident, kind of matching engage for engage, and they don't really care what NIP pick. They are going to go for the scaling option here, highlighting that Xayah, you know, assuming that's probably what NIP will want to go for themselves down in that 2v2. And JDG, once again, don't really care about getting an early pick on mid, getting a higher priority jungle. They've kept it really consistent with just wanting to get Ruler and Missing on something they're comfortable on early in draft.
See what the priority is going to be. Aki and Rookie, I feel like, have been the setup for a lot of the early games for NIP. The Smolder hover is intriguing because Smolder ceased to exist in the LPL after a couple of nerfs. It's Aki going for the Vi instead, and you could just go for the Taliyah for Rookie. Ahri obviously banned away. But to be honest, the Taliyah's not looked as good as we've seen in the rest of playoffs today. Doesn't feel like it has been the ticket for NIP that they want it to be.
Yeah, Nightmare brought up the ASO on the desk. I really love the mention of that. It does give you some scaling. The thing I'm scared of, if NIP lean too heavily in that direction with all lanes, it's like, hey, well, where are you getting prio? JDG will just steamroll you. They are just going to default back to the Taliyah. Again, this pick itself hasn't been a problem. Rookie's been hitting some great seismic shoves. And it seems like they're going to be like, hey, that's fine. We're going to go with it. We have a jungle that pairs very nicely with it. Hell, even the Rakan, like this is one of the best mid-jungle support trios you can ever hope to draft.
Yeah, in terms of getting picks, like you absolutely lock someone down. They never get any chance to counterplay. It's not even like you can flash most of what's coming your way with this trio. Flandre goes for the Rek'Sai once again. I mean, Flandre's looked pretty good today, it has to be said. Like, Flandre, one of the players that people questioned that as a decision when he was brought into the roster at the start of the year, and he's had high highs and low lows, as we've mentioned before. I feel like in playoffs specifically, in general, he's looked really good against top esports. He had a bit of a struggle. The rest of playoffs, he's looked fantastic.
Again, he has 4 out of the 5 MVPs that JDG have in playoffs so far. The only MVP he doesn't have is Game 1, where Missing picked it up with that insane Ashe. We are going to see now coming back into draft, though, taking away the Smolder. So they are respecting that pick, despite the fact that it's been heavily gutted, and we haven't seen it at all in playoffs yet. Again, Xayah being another one that comes to mind, but caring more about the Kai'Sa. I guess that does go a lot more in line with how their composition plays out.
Yeah.
I actually wonder like how deep the pick rabbit hole NIP will go, because hell, you could even theoretically throw like a TF on top side, and again have that lane where you can try and cut out the Rek'Sai, and then you have like TF porting on you, you have Taliyah jumping you with wall, you have the Vio, like so many different ways to pick. But that also might leave you kind of exposed with no real front line to work with.
Yeah, there's also stuff like Tristana still open and available. We've seen a couple of Photic Tristana games this year. It's a very aggressive, like, go-forwards composition. Maybe one of those kind of AD carries instead of going for the scaling of the Xayah. We've seen plenty across the year of Rakan without Xayah. See if Photic does lean towards the Bird Lady down in the bottom lane.
Again, hell, even TF could actually be flexed down to bot if they wanted, but oh, you're right. Maybe wanting to bring even more aggression down to the 2v2. This is going to be incredibly scrappy, but no. Actually, going back to your idea, and I like this more, because Tristana, in my mind, Tristana is such an insane champion in the game right now, because not only are you a champion that can safely play sides, not only do you open up other options in jungle, you're also a great team fighter, you're a great early skirmisher, and now it only leaves them with top. I feel like now that they have Tristana, they do need a heavier front line, so them showing the Udyr is quite nice. They have enough pick, they have enough 5v5, they just need a solid rock to absorb all that DPS that JDG have already drafted.
Well, we'll see if we actually get that 1v1 in the top side. We had this top matchup in game number 1. We didn't see a whole lot of top laning phase in game number 1 with the ridiculous lane swaps that came on through. It could be Rek'Sai jungle. That is a thing that exists. And they've just baited me. They've just completely baited me.
No,
Wait,
I mean, they haven't baited you. You're baiting yourself.
I baited myself. The Twisted Fate comes through for Flandre. And it is Kanavi bringing out the Rek'Sai in the jungle.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. It's going to be our first Rek'Sai jungle of the LPL playoffs. I'm curious to see how Kanavi be able to handle this one. Again, the early aggressions there, the like different ways you can approach gank angles with those tunnels. A lot of creative options going to be left open. And once again, JDG have an absolute ton of DPS between 2 crit 80 carries and a Nazir. NIP, it's a lot more about the mid-game explosion they could have, getting Cryos early on with the Tristana and the Taliyah linking up and trying to set up, I say, a similar amount of aggression towards that bot side as you did in Game 2.
Feels like the longer this goes on, the harder it'll be for NIP. Their composition doesn't necessarily fall off in that way, but all that on the side of JDG, their composition in the late game will come online in a whole different category. Like, that is a powerful composition. Whereas for NIP, so much ability to find picks, so much ability to set things going in the early game. But what we saw in game number 2 is that early game plans were just completely denied by JDG. And I'm worried that JDG have a similar set of tools to do that again.
Now, JDG, they're definitely in a prime position to close this one out 3-0. And again, Rookie and the rest of the NIP boys coming together last second. They're going to need to make this one count. A lot of it is going to be about Aki and Rookie coming together to enable Photic and ensure that Photic can pop off on this Tristana.
We gotta see that coordination from NIP. It's time for Game 3. Backs against the wall for NIP. That lone man in the crowd shouting Rookie's name. It's me, IRL.
That's true.
I want Rookie at International so badly, but
it brings me back to, what was it, 2020 summer when IG should have made it to Worlds. You know, ended up getting destroyed by LGD. You let me, like, I don't want to predict IG. I just want to predict Rookie. And you know, production made it possible.
They did. They did. Instead of a team logo, I had a Rookie face as my prediction. And I was wrong. I was very wrong because LGD made it to Worlds that year. And then, you know, they did fine. They did fine. They were a 4th seed. There's only so much you should expect from a 4th seed at Worlds. 2.5k gold on either team. It's a tie to start us off. What a novel idea. Not seen many ties at level 1, and Shanji doesn't want to keep it as a tie. Flandre chased away. Ghost for Ghost there. And Aki gets onto the chickens here, just trying to deny Kanavi in the early game. Rek'Sai so weak at the level 1, and NIP want to punish it as Duo moves over as well from the top side. The lane swap up there as Kanavi's trying to get onto things. The knockup goes wide though. Kanavi 1 HP, flashes, and Aki takes first blood. Yagao answers though, as Shanji went down 2. Oh my god, it's tense to start us off.
Honestly, I feel like JDG should feel content with that one, considering that they had less members on the top side. Oh no. They wanna catch up Flandre too. Okay, no.
Trying to find more, missing. It's going to be there. Aki goes into the jungle here, but he might have gone too deep for this one. Drone's in the area. There's a gold card missing. He'll follow up. There's not a huge amount of damage here, but it's level 1, so it doesn't really matter. He's stuck against the wall, and it's another freebie for JDG.
He used his flash in the prior engagement, and JDG take advantage of that. Again, JDG have just been reacting to the plays that NIP want to make so well. We can see Ruler being left by his lonesome down in bot side, committing missing up towards his 2v2, and it kind of ends up like a normal 2v2, right? Again, because Twisted Fate's being played more as an AD carry these days, so isn't going to be too different. I guess Flandre have to get used to playing out in the 2v2.
Yeah, let's be real as well, though. Like, Ruler's winning out of all of this. Zeri just getting to lane and just push waves in and just get perfect CS in the early game. You're more than happy with that. As a laning phase, Rookie. Some nice trades in the early game. We've seen this consistently this series, just back-to-back sparring between these two mid laners. It does feel like Yagao's had Rookie's number today, though. It feels like he's been the more impactful mid laner.
And it's been one of those things of where, sure, Rookie's been getting prio, you know, throughout the series, and NIP themselves might dedicate more attention to Rookie, but if you talk about someone who is all about enabling their team, setting up their jungle, and kind of being that glue, that's what Yagao does, and he's done such a great job of consistently shadowing Rookie, making sure that he hasn't been able to find an impact, and finding some impact himself, and getting a kill on Azir so early on is definitely going to be feeling great.
It's worth talking about just JDG in general. So we spent a lot of today talking about NIP, talking about Rookie specifically, but Yagao coming back into JDG this year. He's a player that is very sought after among LPL players. And I think a lot of people looking at the start of the year, like Knight and 369 being replaced by Yagao and Flandre, like you've got absolute carries from last year versus more, I guess, utility style players historically in Yagao and Flandre, and people weren't sure how it was going to work out for JDG. And sure, they definitely aren't the powerhouse that we got to see last year, but it does feel like as time goes on, this team is becoming more and more comfortable, more and more confident in the way that they want to play the game. And today, I do feel like we're seeing somewhat of a culmination of the split so far.
Yeah, and ooh, is engaged on a Ruler, comes out.
Good damage onto a Ruler here, but Dwal and Photic may have stayed too long. Kanavi's trying to tunnel into the bottom side. Dwal flashes, rocket jump from Photic, and they will get away with their lives.
Yeah, Kanavi sadly does not have flash because of the amount of action we've already seen on top side. If so, you know they would have been following up and making sure that Dwal went down, or that Photic had to utilize his flash himself. Is Yagao actually really nice aggressive trade, and we can walk back to that, right? Because I think a lot of people might forget JDG as an org might be on this like big long streak of winning, but it started with Yagao. Like it started 2022 summer, which 369 was on that iteration of the JDG roster, right? But it's not like 369 and Knight came over together. 369 came over first. They still had Yagao in the mid lane, and hell, it was Yagao taking out Knight for JDG to be able to win in that 2022 summer. So it's kind of nice to see it come full circle, where that's where the domination started, and JDG hoping to keep it up here.
Certainly are. Yagao's in form today, that's for sure. The fact that he was able to get one of the early kills in the level 1 is really nice for him, already with the Haunting Guys in lane. But his footwork, beautiful. He's gone for the Grasp Azir as well. Basically saying, look, I've got a lot of upfront pit and burst. We're playing for the late game. I'm going to do damage no matter what. I want to be a little bit tankier.
They're going to make him a little bit better in those quick trades in mid, which is kind of what you're hoping for. NIP, just like last game, right? Trying to find so much through their 2v2 with the aggressive picks that they have, but JDG really just have not been a team to give over opportunities.
Kanavi wants to dive at the top side. Flandre does just take a bit of a punch in the face from Shanji, who starts to run away, but the flash from Kanavi to get the knock up doesn't quite set up. Flandre will tank a tower shot, and he goes down 1 for 1. Well played, Shanji.
Shanji ends up getting one. You did deny a lot of CS, but it looks like Kanavi...
Oh, Rookie flashes for it. He wants to finish the job. Beautifully done by the NIP solo lanes. JDG finally denied a play.
They deny the play, they find kills themselves, and while that was going on, Aki was even able to pick up the first strike. So we can see Yagao getting a little bit back in mid lane with the play, but JDG, I mean, getting taken advantage of. Nice fine nip to be able to actually find a window. Shanji really being the catalyst for that.
We've really got to keep our eyes on Kanavi this game as well, because remember, they've done this weird Rek'Sai jungle flex, which not something we've seen a lot this year. Whether or not that works out could be the difference maker in this series. So far, he's 0-2.
And like you said, he's a champion that if you don't get a lot done early, it feels like it's so much harder to find that impact later on. His Flandre, he's surrounded.
No summoners. Aki not level 6 just yet. Flandre not going to walk in. Drops a ward. Doesn't see anyone. Shanji's in lane. All normal fare so far, it feels like. Rookie slides on forward. Flandre, can he dodge? The flake back from Rookie. The stun comes on through. The follow-up is there. And Aki grabs the kill. Now diving the bottom side, but the double knockup comes out from Dro. And missing forced away. Kanavi underneath the towers. Ruler surviving. Dro, barely any HP. It looks good for JDG as Ruler grabs another.
So we see teams making aggressive plays on opposite sides of the map. NIP able to get something going in topside, but JDG just enabling Ruler even more. Going to be able to deny a lot of CS to Photic specifically, who's already down 20 CS.
I mean, look at that wave dying. It breaks my heart as an AD carry main, but it's a 20 CS lead with a kill and an assist as well. This is the perfect start for Ruler.
Yeah, we're going to see them start this one off on Tristana. I mean, Joel does a nice job of finding the knockup on 2, but it's still not enough with Ruler getting all that free damage out. And Kanavi luckily staying healthy enough to where it doesn't matter, can go for the re-die with him just finishing that off and then backing out easily. Like you said, a ton of minions lost to the Tristana. We could see 2 plates already going over to the Zeri too, to where that hasn't really been able to be answered back by the top side. I mean, hell, sure, you found kills on Flandre, but Shanji's still 20 CS down, and he hasn't found any plates for himself.
Play picked up for Flandre as well, as immediately Shanji wants to change that fact. He goes in onto Flandre. No summoners available. Ghost about to come up for Flandre, and he might have to use it immediately. There we go. Stun, not quite in range as Shanji keeps on chasing this one down. Kanavi arrives on the scene, but I'm not sure that Shanji cares, but he should, because Flandre's walked away. Shanji chasing for more. No way, he actually gets it. Shanji finds a solo kill, and Kanavi's 3 levels down. I'm not 100% sure if he wins this 1v1. Doesn't even have his ult. Yagao and Aki arrive on the scene. Shanji walks away. An absolute daylight robbery. He's a highwayman of the top side.
You should never underestimate how fast Animal Man can run, because you can tell Flandre thinking, maybe I can cut him out long enough for us to finish it off, but as you do, you're just getting so much movement speed to be able to find those. So once again, they find another kill on Flandre, but sadly can't really turn it into much more. We do see Aki has been taking these grubs, so actually might be potential for 5 grubs here with Yagao going for the reset.
Grubs started here. Aki wants to keep going with them. Kanavi's moved over, so has Missing. Photic in the area, and Joao on a flank. That should be enough to dissuade JDG. Like 4 for NIP here, and that's all they'll get on this one. So Kanavi moves back in. We'll be able to finish this last grub off. So JDG grab 2 for themselves. This is the 4 of NIP, and NIP getting 4 grubs as well as that first Drake is a good start when it comes to objectives. The problem is they're 1,000 gold down.
Yeah, and both teams actually wanting to fight over the Scuttle.
We're still going. Joao forced the flash away. Yagao just dives on in. It's a bit of a massacre so far, but Shanji wants to turn it around. Still 4 strong for JDG. No way for Rookie to get into the play here. And Shanji just ain't that tanky yet. Joao gets a knockup. Yagao there as Rookie's behind enemy lines. And Photic dives onto Ruler, but Ruler is too tanky. He survives and now dives forward. Joao to fall as well. And everything going the way of JD Gaming.
Kanavi finding the action, setting up Ruler to really take over. Yagao doing similar things that we've already seen on the Azir with the Emperor's Divide. And sadly for NIP, it's looking a little bit muted. They might be able to find Flandre once again, but we've seen what does even finding kills on Flandre really even turn into?
It doesn't feel like it matters, does it? You see Aki in the area, nobody else even really nearby. And this is over Crab. This is Joao trying to force a fight over Scuttle Crab, just easily punished.
Yeah, finds no one on the engage, immediately has to flash out. It opens up for your Vi to be CC'd, so Aki didn't even get a chance to move. And then from there, it just really looks easy. It was dicey for a second when Ruler was kind of cut off from the rest of his team, but they readjust and know, hey, this lead is not really going to be able to do much. And that's when you see Photic have to go for the jump in, have to try and go for the assassination, or it's just going to be doomed. Sadly, doesn't work out anyway, and Ruler and Kanavi can just keep running NIP down.
And whether it's in jungle or in top lane, that Rek'Sai, the sustain that you get during those fights is too much. And you can see the JDG fans over the moon with how this one is going. It's 2-0 in the series right now, and it's 10-5 in game number 3. It's a 4,000 gold lead for JDG. 2 Drakes as a minor consolation prize for NIP, but they have to make some kind of magic happen now. Their back's against the wall in the series. It feels like in the game as well.
Yeah, and they've been trying. They've been trying to make proactive plays. They've been trying to force aggression. They're going to potentially do snow. Not even going to have the opportunity up against Yagao. And this is where I feel like had they actually been able to get the 5 grubs, then it's like, all right, you could try and overstack on one lane, play with those mites. But they were denied that. So that similar level of playmaking, I think that similar level of overforcing wouldn't be as much of a benefit as it otherwise would be. And it's kind of left NIP stalled.
Can I just say, like, Missing has been on the Nautilus a lot today. His hooks to buffer CC are so clean. I'm not sure I've seen him mess one up. Even at melee range like that, it looks like Tristana Rocket Jump or Ezreal, the way that he uses it. Like, I feel like he's almost immune to... It's almost like a bellows breath at this point when you see Missing using the ability.
It's actually a tragedy seeing this matchup and just thinking like, hey, NIP been playing all this Thresh. And then you think to like one of the premier Thresh guys Missing. Yeah, it's like, literally. Man, I want to see this guy on the Thresh once again. Hopefully JDG one day will bring it out. But like you said, Missing, I mean, it might not need the Thresh hook. Is showing up quite nicely with the Nautilus.
He's looking great today. JDG in general looking great today. off with such a huge lead. We're only 14 minutes into the game.
Look at the items.
Look
at the items.
Up at 14 minutes into the game. In game 3 of a best of 5. I mean, it's just something else, isn't it? JDG, they want to keep themselves alive in the bracket, but will they be able to? The CC chain is good onto Ruler. That's 1 kill. Shanji with a shutdown, but it's only 1 kill for NIP.
Oh, JDG thinking about going back in. They need to be careful. Rookie is Weaver's Wall. Would really be able to make up the distance quite easily. Not even going to need it. And actually be able to make his way over now.
Ruler went down though, so main carry not here for JDG, but they don't seem to mind as Missing looks for an engage. This time he's flicked back, forced to flash away. Damage coming out on Flandre against 3 players here, and Kanavi diving in for more, but Aki's on the play, and Kanavi's gone a little bit too deep for this one. Perhaps a chance for NIP. A second kill as the Weaver's Wall comes out from Rookie, but Yagao just puts him into the team. Another mistake, punished by JDG. Yagao sacrifices his own life to make the play happen as Flandre gets a gold card out. Hook comes through from Missing, and here comes Ruler to turn the play again. JDG, no matter what, they can't be stopped. JDG charge underneath the tower, and Ruler finds his reward.
Man, JDG are feeling it. These look like the type of plays you make when you're 2-0 up and you are just feeling incredibly confident, and they actually make it work. Again, it looks so crazy. Both teams just constantly sending it into each other, but somehow JDG fight lasts long enough to even get Ruler back into the fray and find some more kills. But we're gonna have to go all the way back. Actually, no, we're not going all the way back. We're going to the 4v5. This is where it's kind of funny because we're gonna see Kanavi try to go in onto Rookie, but Aki wasn't all that far away. They actually saw him walk towards that Herald over the ward, so gives up his own life for free. And then, my God, Munch, both mid laners yeeting the other one into their teams. A little bit poetic, is, you know, Rookie gonna face punishment, but finds it on Yagao. And look at the minimap. It buys enough time for Ruler to be able to make it all the way back over here and set up for JDG to keep playing aggressive.
Ruler just slides into the play and finishes things off. Photic so low, walking away from that fight as Yagao now being chased by Shanji. The action just never ends in this one. Yagao, he's got that grasp, but he ain't as tanky as New did. This time Kanavi arrives. Can he get another 2v1? And TP comes through. Rookie wants to join in onto the play. Shanji still surviving, and Rookie's presence will deter the aggression.
Yeah, needing to back off, especially Yagao's Emperor's Divide only coming up just right now. So had NIP ran forward, it would have really been like, hey, we're screwed. We'd need to flash, having to waste summoners with no ways to disengage. We see on the opposite side of the map, though, NIP are able to answer back up on top side. Again, just one of the great things about Tristana is she really can just fit into any role, can push out inside. You have the safety with that rocket jump. Great in team fights with, you know, a bit of burst and obviously a ton of DPS, tons of prio all around. Hasn't been able to find the start that he would have wanted.
No, certainly not. I just love the approach to the game from JDG as they'll pick themselves up a Drake. It feels like they have control on this bottom side. But, like, you know, you always see the coach talking to the players after the draft is done, and you assume that they're talking about different prios and the kind of pathing we're going to take in the early game and this sort of stuff. I feel like the entire conversation was give no quarter. I don't care if they've got a better early game composition. Fight them for everything. And it feels like it's been working for JDG.
They were really hoping to chase NIP down.
The advanced Hex Splash. The advanced Hex Splash is back. We
actually saw Yagao jump over the one. I thought, oh, they really want this, but just gonna end up committing for the Herald, trying to get information on where NIP is to make sure they're doing this one safely. And ooh, we'll see if this opens up a window to fight. Definitely does.
Just have his own TP, so could be a switcheroo here. Missing, caught out, and just accepts his fate there. I'm not sure he had a choice but to accept his fate, to be honest. Aki grabs that kill. The Herald taken, though.
They are still, you know, 3, almost 4K down. Gonna try and find a huge play on mid. Could die from both sides.
Looking for the dive, but the knock-up stone land. Ruler with a cleanse. The blast cone pulls him into the danger, though. And Ruler falls once again. NIP finding yet another chance. The mid lane wave not quite under the tower, so they can't finish the objective yet. And it will mean that they back away. No, moving back into the mid lane here. Kanavi trying to defend. Not sure that's something that he can, but Yagao moves over, but he walks through Fog. And immediately punished by Rookie.
So sadly, NIP not going to be able to take mid-turret. It was nice to see them actually chaining things together, trying to turn picks into active objectives, even if they did have to overload mid lane. Did give Flandre the opportunity to find that outer on top side. But when we were talking about, hey, NIP being more explosive, being more burst heavy, wanting to try and find these advantages earlier, they need to you know, push forward picks like that and look for this play. As we're going to see, you're trying to get on top of Ruler, getting the summoners early. And then I love it, getting ahead of the play, not allowing him to be able to blast plan away and sending him in to your team. But like you said, Kanavi being here and Yagao being on the way prevented the mid lane turret from going down.
More than a kill a minute for game number 3 here, and I'm loving every second of it. But if you're an NIP fan, you got to be a little bit nervous with how this one's going, because it does feel like JDG across the course of today have felt like the better team. It's felt like, you know, it feels like they've gone back to that form they were in that series versus Weibo, as opposed to how they got kind of destroyed versus Top Esports. And remember that if they make it, if they do finish this game, they move further on in the bracket, their next opponent will be either Top Esports or BLG. So we'll either have a rematch of that somewhat obliteration that we got to witness from Top Esports, or they have to go up against the team with the best regular split record in the history of this format. Like, either opponent is going to be a challenge, and I'm really glad that we do see JDG showing us really solid gameplay today, because they are going to need to be in form for that follow-up match.
Yeah, they will. Like you said, either going up against TS or getting the Ping Shang Derby against Knight is Aki. He's going to find Yagao. No one else is that close.
I was going to say Yagao caught out, but I'm pretty sure that's Aki caught out. And Aki forced to flash. You know, Aki started that play, but Flandre immediately using that Twisted Fatal, and actually gets a TP bot out of Rookie.
Yeah, I like that. The second you see the TP being channeled and Destiny closer to mid, you know, maybe there would have been an opportunity there for Missing to find a hook or something like that. You're closer, and you could just converge for the pick. But I really want to point this out. This top lane discrepancy, right? 50 CS up for Flandre, 2.5 items. Shanji just finishing his second on his last reset. Like, my God, Flandre, again, is just so huge in this playoff run so far.
Now a fight for the red buff. Aki, I think his smite was true there. Finishing the job. Will get one objective for his team. Infernal Drake spawning just over a minute's time here. JDG got the most recent Drake, but I do feel like we're getting to the point in the game now where NIP kind of have to start fighting for stuff. Voting on 2 items of the Tristana. We're very close to a death cap for Rookie.
And NIP, I mean, right, even though you look at JDG and you say, hey, again, a bunch of DPS, the longer this game goes, there are no slouches. Tristana going to be dishing out huge damage. Talia there, too, with the burst. And you have quite a nice front line coming out from your 3 supporting casts and a ton of CC. Problem is, JDG do have a lot of mobility on Yagao and Ruler. So it's going to be hard to just be able to lock them down. Hell, we saw last time, even if Aki can lock one of them down, the others are enough to get the job done.
Herald down in the mid lane, the Sun Disc as well. It's a lot of presence coming out from JDG. They want to set up for the Drake that's up in 15 seconds. Charge lands, Kanavi gets out of dodge. It's not often that you see the tier 2s being threatened with Herald to set up for a Drake. That's usually in tier 1 that's being charged up, with JDG just so far ahead of the curve at this point. Infinite Prio in the mid lane with Yagao's passive.
I like Rookie going off to the angle. He did manage to pick up the death cap, so we're gonna have a lot more damage.
Knockups galore onto Missing, but the aftershock keeps him alive. And Kanavi's onto the backline. Missing walks away with his life as Aki threatening as well, but Aki's gone too deep. Both junglers taken down. And now we're in an even position. Missing so low on HP, but so are the carries on NIP.
That's the big thing, right? Like, Missing's low, but Photic being one of the ones to take big damage in that last fight. NIP still feeling confident. Rookie might surprise them.
Nice flick back, Flandre chunked out pretty heavily, and Rookie flashes for a solo kill in the middle of the fight, and now the Weaver's Wall, as Ruler will be the next target, trying to get out with his life. Yagao trying to save his AD carry, but there's nothing to be done. Double for Rookie as he takes to the stage. The all-star of the mid lane keeps NIP alive.
It really feels like we might be overhyping this guy sometimes, but he is consistently making these big hero plays for NIP. It's good to see they were able to translate it into a team fight win and into a soul point. They're finding mojo right when they need it, Bunch.
And it feels so poetic that you see Rookie making a pop-off play, and then Joao, as he recalls, Baolan's signature appears once more. We're back to 2018 Rookie right here today. 6, 2, and 4 on the Talia, making the plays to keep NIP in this.
I love it. Makes his way around JDG not going to expect this to come through again. The seismic shoves today, he might be down 0-2 right now, but his seismic shoves have been gorgeous. And then he keeps just following it forward with the rest of his squad there to make sure that the kills are able to go through. We're going to see Yagao try to do his best to make sure that they can get away to safety, but with Rookie denying that path with the Weaver's Wall, there's just nowhere they can go.
Beautifully done. Rookie grabs a triple, and what a moment for him. Desperate to keep him and his team in this bracket. It's 14-13 as we get towards the 25-minute mark. And it's NIP now on Infernal Soul point. They've got the perfect soul as well to find advantages, especially with a composition like this where you really do want to blow up one person. It does feel like that Infernal Soul, infinite value for them.
Right now, they're completely even in gold. They're getting to the points where the Taliyah and the Tristana are going to be very strong and very hard to deal with. I like the amount of vision they have up towards this Baron side now, but we'll see if they ever think about using it. It is much harder to even try to go for sneakier plays up against what JDG have, especially with the Destiny there.
Smite comes through, and Blue Buff will be stolen away. I feel like we need to take a second here and kind of recap of where we're at, because it's been a very chaotic game. We are neck and neck in gold. We are neck and neck in kills. Towers slightly in favor of JDG, but nothing too significant. And let's be honest, Tristana gonna make short work of towers if things kick off. But it's all about the Drakes. It's all about now setting up for this Baron. You can see the blue vision so strong on the top side of the map. JDG now have to move in to try and contest some of that vision.
Yeah, at least get, again, a defensive vision line down in their own jungle, but they're going to be punished.
Missing the target. Another great hook out from him, but it's not going to be enough. The aftershock keeps him alive for a moment. Arula just doesn't have the damage to answer. A great pick for NIP.
And now Destiny being used too, so they can actually just peel onto this Baron, and you're not going to have to worry about that vision tool being there. And now JDG forced into such an awkward situation.
Feels like they've been the ones doing the Baron all series long now. An opportunity for NIP. Aki to start the fight. Flandre the target for the charm. Lands onto Ruler. He dashes out to safety, but abandons his other carries. That's two as Photic dives into the mix, but he's gone too deep. And Ruler's set up now. Shanji chased out of the jungle alongside Kanavi. Ruler dodging away from the knockback from Rookie. And it's enough to stop NIP doing Baron.
And it's so sad for NIP. I mean, the one guy who you really can't afford to go down if you want to be able to translate those kills into an objective. You can understand the thought process, wanting to get as much as he can, feeling so incredibly strong to follow that through. NIP are actually locking down, trying to lock down both carries of JDG. Ruler doesn't manage to get away, leaves Flandre in a bit of an awkward position, but it's here. Rocket jump in, you get the reset, but look at how fast Kanavi was on the follow-up to make sure that that damage gets done. Without the Tristana, you don't have the DPS needed to then be able to turn back onto that Baron.
The most depressing part of that is that the Buster shot actually got the kill, so Photic being over that wall didn't even influence whether or not they got the kill on Yagao. Really, really tough, and after getting caught out late game in game number 2 as well, it's a tough look for Photic. Now, I don't feel like this series is down to an individual player. I don't think this whole series is on Photic, but these mistakes in the late game, I say late game, we're 27 minutes in. I guess that's sort of late game these days, but you can't really be making these mistakes when the stakes are this high.
I gotta say, though, we're actually really far away from a late game that Yagao can imagine, because look at how defensive his build is so early on. Like, this is here, it's not really going to be dealing meaningful damage. It's a lot going to be about the Emperor Divides that he finds, being able to start those engages, being able to isolate Rookie or Photic from the rest of the squad. Luckily, again, you do at least have Flandre covering that share of the damage, right? He is going to be dealing an insane amount, being on 3.5, might even be at 4 items by now. It's
kind of funny to see the vegetarian Yagao build versus full carnivore Rookie with a death cap second item, like the polar opposite approach to mid lane right now. Mid lane Prio, though, in favor of JDG, and Drake is spawning. NIP would love to get this soul.
You can see JDG not being too stressed about it. They still have Flandre pushing up in topside, but you would imagine after this push, start making your way down.
Another flick back from Rookie. Big damage coming out from him. Kanavi looks for the knock up, but Rookie flashes. Flandre's behind enemy lines, but Rookie turns golden and keeps himself alive. Flandre the target now, but he turns golden. And JDG trying to stay alive, but Ruler's taken down. NIP keeping the a dream alive. Yago will fall, and that's Infernal Soul.
And NIP finally do it. They finally put JDG in a desperate enough position to where the team fighting didn't look clean. The cohesion wasn't on point. The amount of stress they put on them was huge. And now look, actually in the base. I mean, Rookie very specifically in the base of JDG before turrets even going down.
Yeah, are they going to end the game right here? It's a really staggered death timer for Missing. They've got 5 seconds till Kanavi's up, 10 seconds on Ruler and Flandre. They've got a minion wave, and they've got a Tristana. NIP are just going to end the game. They're desperate to finish this one off. Kanavi wants to get Tess, but denied by Aki. The towers fall. Ruler arrives, but it's too little and too late. NIP keep themselves alive in the series.
Backs against the walls, but they were able to pull it through. Great by NIP. Again, great by Rookie. I know with how much we talk about him, it might sound like it's too much sometimes, but this man just always stepping up when it means most. And sad for JDG, because again, there were moments in there that it looked like some decision making was like, hey, we're 2-0 up, like we can be this aggressive, we do feel like the better team. And then it was still close. They almost still managed to even win, but did get a little bit too punished in the end.
Yeah, and I feel like we really got to see this pick composition come alive in the later stages of that game. So many of these fights starting with Rookie finding a target, or Jwo getting that charm onto Ruler and getting the knock up off the back of it. Ruler really struggling to function in these later fights. Phenomenal game coming out from NIP, and it means that we officially have a series on our hands. Thank the Lord it's not a 3-0. We're going to 4 in this one. We'll find out how it continues after the break.